recently I was given the prompt during like a storytelling session thing, um, and the prompt was the story of you. I guess tell the story of you. What's the story of you? And although I've kind of thought of it over the years, maybe I never really dug in that close. I started thinking about it a little bit deeper. I started thinking about like who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Right? Whatever. Yeah. And I thought back to my dad's funeral. And this is somebody I'd known, right? 44, 45 years of my life. And I knew who my dad was, right? I knew who my dad was for me. And I'm at the funeral, and I happened to be fresh off of major ankle surgery, and I was kind of just sitting around. So a lot of people, I was a sitting duck. Let's put it that way. So a lot of people came up and talked to me. Now, these are people throughout the breadth of my dad's, you know, 75 years on the planet. People I knew, people I didn't know, and coming up to me and telling me about my dad, telling me their perception, their story of my dad. And I do remember it dawning on me like, wow, like their perception, their relativity to my dad, all of them were different. Some of them were lifelong work partners down in New York City on Wall Street that I didn't know, but they had lunch with my dad every month. Or they worked with my dad for 12 years in the same firm, right? And then there was like friends of mine, right, that I grew up with who came to me and talked to me about how my dad was their Cub Scout leader or their football coach or just hanging out at our house, right? Who they thought my dad was. And it ran the whole gamut. Family members, what they thought. And I realized that there's a big saying that says, like, every day we write our story. And yeah, it's true. We get to go out and we get to influence the world. We do what we do. And whether we like it or not, we are influencing the world, right? And whether we're trying to or not, however it happens, right? We interact with our world. And what I realized was that, yeah, we get a chance to write it. So we get a chance to go out there and influence, but we don't really tell our story. Like in my brain, I have my story of me, right? As a kid, as a college student, as a business owner, as a husband, as a ex-husband, as a father, as a boyfriend, partner, whatever you want to call it. I have my story of who I am, but I don't really tell that story. I don't tell people necessarily about every moment of my day and my thoughts and my interactions. I tell the story about the other people I interact with, just like people are telling the story of me. So everybody out there is telling my story. Everybody out there is telling your story. Just the way I look at it. Makes you think about how you might interact out in the world. How you might treat people. Knowing that in the end, they're the ones who are going to tell your story. those are the people that are going to talk about you and inform others about who you are. Just thought.